Can you really retire abroad if your budget is only $1,000 per month?
We just saw another list recommending cheap places to retire abroad, but it may not be possible to actually live in several of them.
So in this video, we're going to debunk this list and give you a few options that might work better if you're on a tight budget.
Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button if you want to retire abroad because our videos can help you.
We just saw a list from U.S. News & World Report about the 7 cheapest countries to retire abroad on $1,000 per month.
These 7 countries do have a low cost of living, but several of them do not have visas for a retiree on a tight budget.
Let's take a look at these countries now, and we're going to give you some alternatives that have both a low cost of living and visas that will work for most retirees.
The first country on the list is Malaysia. Yes, the cost of living is lower, and Malaysia has high-quality, affordable health care, and that's really important to retirees and, well, really to everyone.
They changed the MM2H visa to a 3-tiered system, which is currently based on a deposit that starts at $107,000. That's pretty pricey. They're supposed to update that and include a monthly income, so this might be a viable option, but they haven't announced what those numbers are yet.
They do have the SMM2H visa if you want to move to Sarawak, Borneo. You'll need approximately $1,400 per month from your Social Security or government pension, or a deposit of $31,000, which is still pretty expensive.
So what do you think, Amelia? Is Malaysia a legitimate option if you have a budget of $1,000 per month?
Maybe, yeah, you can live there for $1,000 a month, but you got to get a visa, and with that big deposit for mainland Malaysia, that may be off the table for a lot of people. Even Sarawak is expensive at over $1,000 a month for their retirement visa.
All right, the next country we're going to look at is Mexico.
The article specifically references San Miguel de Allende and Ajijic, but they've got more expensive.
Income requirements for visas have also skyrocketed. You're looking at least $4,300 per month to get one of those visas. We've actually heard from several people it's a lot more than that.
They do have the Mexican Special Regularization Program, easy for me to say. They don't have an income requirement for that particular visa as long as you're in Mexico on an expired tourist visa. There's a lot more to it than that, but that actually could be a viable option.
You can't assume you're going to get that automatic 6-month tourist visa either when you arrive. They didn't give it to us on our last visit, and we've heard from a lot of people they're just not doing that anymore.
Mexico does have a low cost of living, but it really varies depending on the location. So yes, you can live there for $1,000 a month, but typically not in the expat hotspots.
Well, you could get a roommate though, or stay in one of those less popular areas to save money on your housing.
Well, that is true. So is Mexico legit for retirees on a $1,000 a month budget?
I don't know, maybe. I guess if you look at the cheapest places to live in Mexico, the cost of living might meet that requirement, but the bigger issue is qualifying for a visa. If you want to retire there, you have to have a visa.
However, you can go to Peru.
Peru does have a retirement visa with an income requirement of just $1,000 per month. It has a low cost of living, and there's so much to do. It's actually a lot like Mexico. They have beaches, mountains, ruins to explore, and it's a foodie paradise.
The next country on the list is Panama, and they still have their pensionado visa, and the income requirement for that is $1,000 a month. And the great thing about that is it goes directly into permanent residency.
Plus, you only have to be 18 years old to qualify.
We've heard that cost of living has increased in Boquete and parts of Panama City and the coast, but that is still very affordable, especially compared to the United States.
So what do you think? Is Panama a legitimate option for retirees on a tight budget?
Absolutely it is, especially if you look for housing outside of the major metros. You can go and find cheaper housing in the smaller cities and towns.
The Philippines is the next country on the list. For that, you need $800 a month for their classic retirement visa, and you have to deposit $10,000 in a bank account.
However, if you don't have a pension, you can do a deposit of $20,000, or if you buy property worth at least $50,000, you can also get that retirement visa.
The Philippines is really popular because they speak English there. They have a low cost of living, they have good health care in their private facilities, and it's still really affordable compared to the U.S.
We keep hearing a rumor about a 3-year tourist visa, but we haven't been able to find anything about this online. So if you have a legitimate government website that you can send a link to, please do, because we would love to learn more about it, and I'm sure other viewers out there would as well.
Yeah, all we've seen from the government is that you get a 30-day visa when you enter the country, and then you can extend that for another 29 days, so for a total of 59 days. We haven't seen anything about this 3-year visa on the Philippines government websites.
The big question is Philippines legit for retirees on a low budget?
Yes, I think it definitely is. If you can float that $10,000 deposit and the income requirement is low, it's a great country. We hear great things about it. In fact, it's on our list of places to visit later this year.
Portugal is our next country, and they have their D7 visa. That's been a popular passive income visa. But we've heard that you really need to have more income than that to be approved.
You also need at least 1 year of savings, so that's 9,840 euros. And there are a lot of people applying for the visas when they're telling us the wait times are really long. It could be 9 months or longer to get your visa approved and finalized.
And additionally, they recently changed the NHR scheme, so if you didn't already apply by the end of 2023, then you are not eligible unless they change those rules again.
Yeah, that means you're going to be paying more in taxes. Also, the housing costs have gone up quite a bit, especially in popular cities like Porto and Lisbon. So you need to find places further inland or maybe up north to find cheaper housing.
Is Portugal legitimate for retirees on $1,000 a month?
We're going to say maybe on this one. I don't know. I think it's really stretching it. We've talked to a lot of people. We were there. We saw what things cost. I think it would be really tough to live there on $1,000 per month, especially if they're going to require more than that for your income. I don't know how you would qualify for that visa. Plus, you got to pay taxes on your pension and Social Security. So we're going to give that a maybe. You might be able to, but I wouldn't count on it.
However, you can check out Albania as an alternative. They have a long-term visa and the income requirement is $11,250 per year, which comes down to $937.50 per month.
It's not as developed as Portugal, but they do have beaches, an international airport, and the cost of living is very low.
Thailand is the next country on this list, and for that, you first have to apply for the O visa, which is their 3-month visa, and then you apply for the extension.
You need around $1,850 per month or a security deposit of $22,800, or you can do a combo of annual income and the security deposit.
The article recommends the Chiang Rai region in the north or Phuket, and there are a lot of places to choose from, and you can definitely find affordable housing.
We have heard that the cost of housing has increased in part because they legalized Mary Jane, but those laws may be changing, so perhaps the demand will decrease and the cost will come down.
So is Thailand legitimate for people with a $1,000 a month budget?
Maybe if you can qualify for that retirement visa, but we're going to give you another alternative after we talk about the last country on this list, which is Vietnam.
This is one of the most affordable countries. The standard tourist visa is 30 days. They do have a 90-day multi-entry visa, but they do not have a retirement visa.
Yeah, you might be able to do tourist runs, but we're not really big fans of that in terms of living in a country. It might be a great stop on your slow travel itinerary, but it's really not ideal if you want to live there permanently, especially as a retiree.
Is Vietnam legit then for retirees on $1,000 a month? I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
They don't have a visa.
Yeah, if you can't get a visa, why is it even on this list of best places to retire abroad when they don't have a visa that will work for retirees? This was the number one on the list. It makes no sense.
However, you can check out Cambodia. They do have a retirement visa.
Yeah, it's right next door. It's also a great alternative to Thailand if you can't get their visa. You just need to prove that you can support yourself with your pension. They don't have exact numbers for that, like what the monthly income requirements are, but it just says that if you can support yourself, you qualify.
We've heard from a lot of you that you love living in Cambodia and that it's very affordable. It is on our list of places to visit later this year, so I'm pretty...
Yeah, I am too. I'm so excited to go visit there. So when you see these types of lists in your newsfeed, you got to really look at them with a critical eye because they often leave out important details, especially relating to visas. And you got to have a visa if you actually want to live in these places long term.
If you're thinking about doing slow travel so that you don't even have to worry about getting a residency visa, then check out this video next.
And let us know in the comments what you thought about the alternative countries that we shared with you and how, if you think you'd be comfortable living in them.
Before you go, leave us a like, please, and we will see you on our next video.
Ciao.
Ciao.